Now that we are up to speed, we can engage with the third near broken route of the GyroHawk. UpThrow Buffered Z-Catch. A low percent combo converter which becomes stronger at higher levels of competitive gameplay. The UpThrow Buffered Z-Catch involves a high or low GyroHawk at lower percents, where you buffer the Z-Catch during the UpThrow and either forward toss or Z-drop the gyro upon your opponent. The difference between the forward toss and Z-drop routes are substantial, so please bear with me as I try to explain them. To begin with, UpThrow forward toss is a damage converter which is safer and more damaging than the more commonly used UpThrow fair combo. When you Z-catch the gyro on frame 4 of jump, you must input the forward toss on frame 5 or 6 to get a worthwhile conversion. It is easier than it sounds to hit this 2-frame window. Here are the inputs for the UpThrow Buffered Z-Catch forward toss using my preferred method. I said preferred method because there are multiple ways of throwing the gyro after Z-catching it. First of all, there is the double A press method, where you release A after catching the gyro and re-tap A to throw it. Second, there is the C-stick method, which I previously showed, where you can keep all buttons held down and only focus on whacking the C-stick after catching the gyro. Please note that this only functions like this if you have smash stick. If you are using tilt stick, you have to let go of the A button before hitting the C stick. And finally, there is the special method. This method requires A and B smash to be enabled. You can keep all buttons pressed down and simply press a button assigned to special after Z catching the gyro. The special input will function like an A plus B smash attack in a similar vein to smash on C stick, and it will throw the gyro. Fortunately, the effect of these tosses do not change whether you're using strong or weak tosses. That is, until a much later section that we'll cover later. Generally though, your tosses will be strong unless you use the first A release A tap method. Finally, it is important to understand that frame 5 tosses have a greater working percent window than frame 6 tosses. This 1 frame difference will also affect some combo routes that, again, we'll talk about later. I do not yet have a pretty graphic to show the roster's frame 5 and 6 windows. I will attach the full spreadsheet in the YouTube description, but for now, here are some examples of the differences in working percents. As you can see, these are the percent windows for when the opponent DIs away from UpThrow. These percents refer to the opponent's percent before the UpThrow damages them, as that's easier to understand as opposed to after launching them, where you won't have time to read the damage. Now, after you actually hit the forward toss, one thing you can do simply is side B. Z-drop, UpThrow, forward toss, side B. For how simple it is, outputs about 50% damage, which is an absurd amount of damage just for Rob landing a GyroHawk on you. I taught fellow Rob main Alex the UpThrow buffered Z-catch, and within a very short time frame, he hit this as a kill confirm at an offline grind session. It just goes to show how powerful this simple confirm can be at ledge. Be careful when inputting this though. things don't always work out. The percent may be too high and you miss the side B. Or you might input the sequence too fast and cause fair to come out instead. Mistakes can happen, but that's okay, you'll get better. For the forward toss side B conversion, this works until about 20% on the cast. Above this percent, you will have to use the alternative double toss combo route to maintain the high damage conversions. The good thing about double toss is that the conversion works within the entire percent window for each character described before, meaning that you do not have to go for double tosses only when you are past side B percent. However, when you are performing the Z catch in these UpThrow conversions, you must perform a frame 5 toss, because frame 6 toss puts Gyro a pixel position away from Rob where he is too far to catch it. Fortunately, there are some small windows where frame 6 tosses are Z catchable. For example, Captain Falcon has a frame 6% window of 28 to 45%. You are able to Z catch the gyro using a frame 6 toss after 36%. Or just frame 5 toss and you won't have to worry about this anyway. Regardless, here are some double toss conversion examples. At the low region of the working percent window, on floaty characters, you can settle for just a double toss if you'd rather not commit to side B in center stage, though I would suggest side B'ing if you're at ledge. At the higher regions of the working percent window, just double toss for the damage and maintain stage control with gyro still in your hand, which is still a strong position. For fast fallers in the low region, you can tech chase after the second toss with a slightly delayed laser which can cover multiple tech options, such as miss tech, tech in place, and tech away. At the high and far regions of the working percent windows, if you have the confidence to, you can go for triple tosses for even more damage, and potential stock takes too. Now, you might be thinking, hey Lucretio, this is all great for DI away, but what about DI in, huh? Well, forward toss can still cover DI in, as long as you don't drift forward. Just let go of the analog stick on reaction. For instance, here I am reacting to a random mixture of DI in versus DI away using the training mode mod. If I drift forward against Peach's DI in, the forward toss will miss. However, at super low percents, forward toss with drift can still hit DI in. As for the frame data on my tosses, I think it is harder to react multiple times in quick succession as opposed to a singular time in a real match. Hence why I wasn't consistently getting frame 6 or faster tosses. I reacted too late on the 5th throw, hence why it missed. This DI in phenomenon neatly links to the next section regarding UpThrow Z-drop conversions. You see, Z-drop conversions are much more devastating than forward toss. These lead to more killing conversions and works on the whole cast on DI in. It also helps that opponents are more likely to DI UpThrow in when they're at ledge. Consider this. I taught my fellow Rob main Daz the input for UpThrow buffered Z catch into Z drop, and shortly after, he hit this conversion on Kazuya. This entire sequence output 61% off of a grab and sent Kazuya deep off stage when starting in center stage. I, too, hit this same conversion, coincidentally on Kazuya, outputting about the same damage but actually killing the opponent in this case. Kazuya died from a grab. Even the Rob main Bray hit the Z drop on a Kazuya, but unfortunately dropped the conversion. But what's going on with these Kazuyas?
Oh, I was so close.
Regardless, you as a player need to be clean with your conversions, because even if you land a Z drop, you could still drop the combo on your own terms. But hey, putting out 60% on a combo drop isn't that bad. But no worries, because it will all be worth it when you hit the most perfect death combo off of a grab, by the way, because they respected GyroNair. Some other wacky combos exist for DI-in, but it'd be impossible to lab and show them all. Overall, DI-in is pretty damn bad to do against this GyroHawk UpThrow. Alright, so the more astute members of the audience might be thinking that there's something missing. And you would be right, I haven't yet mentioned or showed how to deal with stages with platforms. So I'ma do that right now. If you are not ready for platforms, you could miss some significant conversions. There are some instances where you might try to improvise, and you might even get lucky, but it's infinitely better to know what you're doing. When using UpThrow forward toss when platforms are present, you must be aware of whether or not your gyro toss will send them into tumble. This is where the difference between strong and weak tosses begin to matter more. But for the sake of this video, we will only discuss strong toss. Also, keep in mind the ability to Z-catch frame 5 tosses too. For example, before UpThrow damage, Wolf at 21% will tumble to a forward toss. So, any grabs below this percent allows you to get a free double toss conversion on the platform, as your opponent cannot act for a short time after landing. It's also possible to follow up with a forward air for just that little extra bit of damage and stage control. When your opponent is above the tumble percent window, this sets up a tech chase scenario on the platform. It is possible to cover any of the tech option selects with a different timing for the forward toss. And alternatively, you can even use a GyroNair, which can potentially set up an even more deftly follow-up to the tech chase, if you're confident. And of course, don't forget on lighter characters with higher percent, they might just go past the platform, so just simply double toss them. One good aspect of these platform conversions are that you can cover multiple platform tech options with one setup. For instance here, the idea is to Z-drop the gyro in a position that covers tech in, while side being in a general area that covers tech in place and tech away. Here's a pretty ugly example of me covering tech in place and tech away with raw side B without a Z drop. Damn, there are a lot of avenues for GyroHawks. It is pretty important that you practice all of the forms. For the UpThrow buffered Z-catch forward toss conversion, if you do not have the training mode mod, I would suggest practicing on Kazuya at 16%. If you get a true combo on the counter, it means you have performed a frame 6 or faster toss. If you want to practice your frame 5 tosses, reduce his percent to 6% and get the combo as true. Similarly, if you have the training mode mod, just set their percent within a frame 5 or 6 window and have the computer buffer air dodge. Listen, everyone, you might remember me saying how this GyroHawk route nearly breaks the character. I stand by this notion. The reason for this is because at higher levels of play, your opponents must respect GyroNair. So many Rob mains struggle to get gyro conversions at high and top level because they simply do not know how to get conversions started around shield. This setup was literally birthed to beat shield. This technique literally adds an extreme dimension to Rob's play, where you have to make a very fast decision between attempting to shield an incoming GyroNair or to intercept and or attack an incoming GyroHawk. This GyroNair conditioning allows there to be a near 50-50 scenario in neutral constantly, where if you guess wrong, you take 50% or death. Oh, and let's not play any games here. We all know what happens if you don't respect GyroNair. Oh, and before we wrap up this third route, there is one more tiny thing to mention. There are 4 characters in the roster who suffer the most from the third route. These characters are Ridley, King DDD, King K. Rool, and Rob himself. The third route is a nightmare for these 4 characters because UpThrow Z-Drop is a true combo even on DI away, up to 20%! Except for Rob, where it's up to 11%. This means that in these matchups, these characters are not allowed to become a victim of GyroHawk for any reason, because the conversions are absolutely devastating and no manner of DI or SDI can save them. And well, that seals the story for the new advanced routes under the GyroHawk technique. This was an incredibly long video, and so I thank you all for seeing it through with me. GyroHawk and its 3 main routes are very interesting. The first route 100% tests the reactional awareness of your opponent. Can they avoid the 8 frames of shield stun? Or can they react fast enough to buffer a fast option to beat out any suboptimal Z-drops on shield? It's less to do with the Rob's ability to create the setup. Whereas the second route is 50% testing the mash speed of your opponent and 50% testing your ability to perform as close to a frame 7 or 6 Z-drop out of down throw. There are 2 factors at play here. Finally, the third route is 100% testing your ability as a Rob main to convert optimally when you get the UpThrow. There's nothing your opponent can do at that stage. It is all on you. The better you are fundamentally and the better you are as an overall Rob user, the stronger the third route is, which is why I adore it. And never forget, no one will respect your GyroNairs if you don't have a good punish game. This is the top player Lucretio himself, wishing all of you good luck in your descent into the new meta.